Well, to talk about some of the issues raised by that piece and the other piece, let's talk to Kevin Cullen. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist from the Boston Globe. Bit of a local hero, I think would be fair to say.
I don't think so, Matt. You got bad information.
Okay, modesty apart. Kevin, the president's speech, powerful stuff, but we've heard it before, haven't we?
We have heard it before. It's been a bad year, as you said. I mean, I think, Matt, if we stay here long enough, the locusts will arrive. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it's almost he's becoming the comforter in chief. This is the fourth time I've heard that speech in the last year and a half, and I imagine he might give another speech in Texas by the end of the week. So, but that said, I think it was needed. It's the first time we did anything faith-based since the bombing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the town's coming. It's funny, I think I might be the only one in town that, I was in Oma 3 hours after the bomb went off in 1998. Yeah. I was in London 8 hours after the bombs went off on 7/7. But this is my hometown. Right. Okay. But I can tell you, the sense here, I saw this in Oma, yeah. I saw it in London. The day after the bombing, 7/7 bombings, I went down into the tube and rode the tube with Londoners. Right. And we were all looking at each other nodding. And, you know,
so you see a similar resilience here?
Absolutely. I think it just shows that the human nature that was behind all those bombings was as bad as it gets. But the human nature, the resilience, and the absolute defiance
is as good as it gets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I talk about the first responders. Some of these guys are my friends, the firefighters, the cops, the EMS people. The courage and the bravery that they showed in the face of that is what I remember. I won't remember the cowards who
Kevin,
did it.
What I want to get back to is that extraordinary contrast between the president's sermon today, his Martin Luther King-style preaching from the pulpit, and the incredible anger and fury and gnarled teeth with which he delivered his post-defeat address yesterday in the Rose Garden.
On the guns.
Converting this rhetoric into political coinage, that's the tricky part, isn't it?
It is, because obviously there are people in this country that would, you know, lean more right, that think that this is all about political currency. This is about the president making a political act. But, you know, to me, that almost implies that when you say political, there's a negative connotation about that. Everything a president does is political. Yeah. That's just the way it is. The question to me is it good? Is it good for this town right now? And I would say it is. We need to hear this.
I want to know from you, Kevin, does it make a difference to the psyche of America at the moment if the bombers who did this down the road are foreign or domestic?
That's a good question. I mean, I think I've gone back and forth. To me, the ideology is as perverse if it's from locally done or domestic grown or if it's foreign inspired. I don't think that matters. I think the concern would be that if it was foreign in inspiration or in practice, there's a definite fear of backlash. And Muslim folks have had that before in this country, and we don't want that to happen again.
But what if it's domestic? And we know that the number of extremist militias has rocketed since the presidency of Barack Obama.
People are buying guns, people are buying weapons. After both times that President Obama was elected, there was a rush on ammunition and a rush on weapons, and I find that extremely disturbing. But it is, and you know, it's weird. I think that if it is a militia type person or somebody that would be inspired by that, I think that probably Americans could handle that a little easier.
But you know, the number of people I've spoken to during the whole gun debate, I mean, these are gun control opponents who said the Second Amendment is about resisting tyranny, and that's not just George III, that includes Barack Obama.
Well, the funny thing is we fired the first shots to get you guys out of here. And
but for people to talk like that about the president.
But I'm saying we fired the first shots here, and that's what Patriots Day was to commemorate. The first shots fired in 1776, and yet we have the strictest gun law control here in Massachusetts. We also have the lowest incidence of gun violence in the country. That's just the way it is. But I predicted, it's not because I'm smart, Matt, it's because I kind of have my eyes open. I knew after Newtown this would not go through because the NRA is powerful, and I knew that Republicans would not be punished at the ballot box for turning down what 90% of Americans want.
Got to leave it there. You are smart, but I'm going to keep an eye on your travel schedule. Kevin Cullen, thank you very much indeed. Well, there you heard it from one of the finest journalists here in the city of Boston. We hope to be back with you later in the program with more from Texas.